Around 9 weeks ago, I bought a teeny weeny Nepenthes seedling in one of these teeny tiny, like 2-inch pots, and I was really happy with the price because I usually don't find them for that cheap. Anyway, I went ahead and planted it, and I have a video to show you how I secured it in here and how I did this. It's on my other YouTube channel. I recently started this channel just to have plants on there versus my old channel, which was becoming a hodgepodge. And since I do a lot of plant videos, it's seemed appropriate to have my own planting channel. So anyway, I'll put a link so you guys can view it. But I set this up. This is one of those vases that you put like a nice bulb here. I think when I bought this, there was a paper white daffodil that sat in there. And I did something, like put a little ring using a zip tie. I can show you how to make it if you watch my other video. And put some long fiber sphagnum moss. And I used some wicks so I can wick water up. And I placed this near a window that faces west so it gets a little afternoon sun. Nepenthes, they like a lot of sun and brightness, but they also like high humidity. And I really didn't want all this like algae and stuff to grow in here. There is a little, but not much. What I've been doing is I took a sheet of craft foam and I took some black craft foam and I just stick it in front of there so then it's not receiving direct light from the window to turn this water gross. But I'll water it from the top, come down, and then, this will help to keep it moist without it being oversaturated in there because Nepenthes like moisture. They like high humidity. They don't like overly saturated planting medium. But since I planted this in here about 9 weeks ago, it's actually grown. You can see the leaves that came in the tiny pot and all the new growth I received. You can see the new pitchers forming. This one, it hasn't opened yet. So I'm quite happy that it is developing new pitchers and it didn't have that huge one there. I'm not sure exactly what species this is. Being one just bought at the farmer's market, it's probably one of the more common ones available in cultivation. I think it might be a Nepenthes alata, but I really am not well versed on all the different species, and there are tons of species. Although the fact that plants can actually, you can take different ones and cross-pollinate them, it doesn't make sense that they're different species because, like dogs, you have so many different varieties of dogs, but they're the same species. So it's odd that animal biologists will treat new species as a reproductive barrier, whereas in horticulture, they look at varieties more that are found in the wild rather than whether or not they can cross-pollinate. But anyway, so this variety of Nepenthes, I'll just use variety, I suspect maybe alata, could be ventricosa, I'm just not sure. But growing it in one of these gives you a nice hydroponic setup with the wick to keep it moist. You can keep filling it up. And I guess if I water it more often, because when I do pour water in here, I have to be careful for it not to overflow. But if I do water it more frequently than not, hopefully this can fill up with more water to where I don't have to then water it as often, until it starts going back down. But if I do see that this is dry, I know it's time to water as long as I catch it dry before the moss dries up. But this way really worked for this Nepenthes plant, and it is doing really, really well. I went and bought a little seedling from Lowe's, and I had it close to a window, and the media, in a small pot, the media dries out fast, so I had to keep it watered. It always stayed always stayed small. And then it eventually was doing poorly. I moved it up to the kitchen where I can water it more often. I had a gallon of distilled water there for it, but it died. I guess it didn't get enough light in the kitchen. So this setup here is a much better setup, and you can see how happy my plant is. And I'm excited about this. So you can see the nice pictures. And I really didn't fill any of these pitchers since I got them with water, but there is a little bit in there I could probably add some if I wanted to. That one you can see there's some up to this level here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and happy planting.